What's going on, Blackstoners? Cmac from BlackstoneBoys. Just sitting out here on a beautiful early evening, and got my Blackstone raise the steaks add-on because we're gonna do a little beef cook, little steaks, and something special, not a normal cut, little picanha, and I'll explain in a minute what that is. But yeah. Have a little glass of wine first, and then we'll get to cooking. Right now, out by the fire pit. A little fire on a beautiful New England evening. A little smoky, but getting it going. So thanks for joining us, and we'll get this cook going here in a minute. All right, thanks a lot. All right, so here we go. We've got, it says culotte steak. This is what the Brazilians like to call picanha. A couple of little steaks here. Let's get them out. So that's picanha, and you can see it's got the fat cap on it, which is traditional. It's a little on a rump cut, and it is fantastic. Those in the know, and if you follow Adrenaline, I think it's Adrenaline Barbecue, I'll put the link on it, but the ribeye is known as the king of steaks. Picanha is the queen. These are fantastic. So we're going to do it traditionally, or fairly traditionally. We're just going to do a little salt, a little kosher salt. In Brazil, they do rock salt. Don't have rock salt, kosher salt will work just fine. These are fairly thin steaks, so it doesn't need a ton. But these will go on and be ready in a minute. All right, so we got the Blackstone. We got a low on this side, doing a little tricolor potatoes with some root vegetables and mushrooms and jalapenos. Those are going to be fantastic. Kind of par cooked them a little bit in the oven just because they take such a long time. Those will finish. I'll finish them out on the grill, get a little crust on them. So let's get those picanha steaks on here. Oh, you know what? Also got some marinated steak tips. All of the meat is from Modern Butcher in Newburyport. So if you're local and you want some great meat, they specialize in whole animal butchery. Fantastic stuff. So in fact, let's get the steak tips on there first. Those guys are going to take a little bit longer to cook. So we'll let those start searing off. And we'll get those picanha steaks on there in a second. Alright, so we got these Steakhouse marinated tips on. Looking good, starting to get some color on those bad boys. So let's get our picanha steaks on here. These will not take long at all. They're thin, so we're going to go for a little medium rare on those guys. Get them nice and seared. Okay, so these guys have only been on for a minute or so. Both already got a nice sear on them. See how our tips are doing. Tips are looking good. Potatoes. Do this. We're going to lift these potatoes out. I crust them up a little bit. So those potatoes are, as you can see, almost pork tender, so we're doing a pretty good job. Get a little bit more heat on those guys. and line those up. Get a little char on that fat cap. Another couple minutes, we'll be ready. All right, so I think we're about ready here. We got some crust on that fat. So picanha steaks, traditionally, you got to keep that fat on. Brazilians will get on you if you trim that fat. In fact, when you slice it up to eat it, you've got to eat it with the fat, which is frankly super tasty. Let's get these tips off. And our potatoes and veggies. Uh-oh. Well, there's some treats for the dogs. So that's our platter. Not too shabby. We'll let that rest for a few minutes and we'll start cutting it. All right, so here's our little platter of goodness. Let's cut these picanhas. Just gonna cut these guys kind of little bite-sized pieces. Picanhas, we got the steak tips, some beautiful tricolor potatoes. All right, I think we should give these a try. All right, so here we are. So again, we've got the steak tips, a little Steakhouse seasoning on them from Modern Butcher, as well as the picanhas, and some tricolor potatoes, little root vegetables, and mushrooms, garlic, loveliness.
Loveliness for sure.
Here with my boy Jeff Gleason, and he didn't exactly realize he was coming over for a feast, but we had to, we had to do it. So, cheers, my brother.
Yes,
so we're gonna do this. As I've told you before, so after playing basketball in college, I played overseas for a while. I played in Turkey and I played in Brazil. So familiar with the picanha steaks from if anybody's been to churrascarias. And I know I kind of did not pronounce that great for my Brazilian Portuguese, but if you've been to Fogo de Chao or any of those kind of Brazilian steakhouses, one of the cuts that you'll see is the picanha, and it's on the spit, kind of in a semicircle, a little crescent moon shape. We did it on the Blackstone. Tradition is you eat it with the fat cap on, or at least you have one. So, Mr. Gleason,
all right, I'm going to
grab one and
let's see what it says, huh? Unbelievable.
Pretty tasty little cut, huh?
I didn't even get the fat cap yet. Unbelievable.
Just salt, nothing else on those guys. It's like I said earlier, the queen of steak. My Brazilian friends will vouch for that. Not easy to find. But just a yummy.
Phenomenal.
So you might see it, you rarely see it as picanha here in the States, but you may see it as culotte steak. They're really good. Again, remember, don't cut that fat cap on. You'll piss off all the Brazilians. But so
absolutely delicious.
Thank you. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Let's get our grub on.
Very fortunate to be sitting here dining with this master. Thank you.
I don't know master, but it's Friday night, Blackstone Boys, little cook, and hope everybody's having a great night. Enjoy. Blackstone and Griddle on.
Much appreciated, brother.
Thank you. Let's dig in.